Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, we'll be going over the development stages of the battery modification cage. What you see before you here is all the reiterations that I have gone through for the past few months to get what I have landed upon as the original and very happy setup. Here you can see so many various configurations. Printing out, being able to print and test these things out has definitely shortened time. But as you can see, there are a lot of reiterations that we've gone through, and there are other projects that I'm working on as well. But it all started with the base development of this battery modification. Here is the original design. It looks similar to what I have developed. However, there has been some changes that best suit the SHCS battery that I have here. Nothing was really wrong with design, but I did have a few issues. It was fiddly, and especially this wall here. I also wanted to reduce weight by eliminating this wall, and just generally being able to, this had issues as well. This was kind of thin. I made this thicker. One of the issues that I had with this is that when you put it in here, it just would pull straight out. There was nothing to keep it from just pulling right out of the quad with not that much effort. So I found that a little nerving. Not that it ever did fall out, but one of the improvements in my design was that I brought the ear out, made it thicker in the process. So now when I put it in here and try to pull this out, this thing can hang by it. It will never ever pull out, just like the original battery has it. Here is the original battery. Put it in, try to pull it out, it will not pull out. That is the same that I have here. Put it in, try to pull out, it will not pull out. So it's very secure. So that's an improvement that my design has over the original design. The other main other design difference was the placement of this brace here. It was at a different location, and so when putting these, hooking up to the XT60, it did get hung up underneath the actual drone. It would hang up on here, and I would have to make sure to push it in there so it wouldn't come loose. And it put additional strain. It would otherwise put additional strain on the ears. So what I did is I lowered it just enough so it still had clearance from this battery going in here, but allowing more room for this to be recessed and not be an issue. So it's below the actual edge here. So that was a successful modification. The other thing that allowed us, by removing this wall, it allowed me to recess the battery in a bit more, because in the original design, it would stick out slightly. And again, I would have to make sure to push it really good in there, because it would have a pressure against the back wall. With the removal of the wall, that is no longer an issue, and this just simply slips in, and it actually has more room to work with. There is no pressure against it wanting to push the battery out, because this battery fits all the way in there. Now it had about a couple millimeters of room to work with, and so it did have that advantage. So it solved a lot of problems. It fits better. It holds more securely, my design. It's easier to assemble. You just have this to hold the actual board in. I also added the detents at the bottom here, where the board will simply be able to go in there of its own accord without any issues. Here is a dummy board that I can show the example. goes right in here, just sits down right in there. And then you have this piece right here. It's got the detents, and you just put this right over there, and you just screw it in. And it was really simple that way. So assembly is easier and simpler, and this whole thing can be a modular unit, and it holds the board in and of itself. Those are the pros of my design. The cons of my design is the wall did provide a bit of extra protection. The only difference is that you just have to be careful about when you push the battery in there that you don't, just make sure that the wires are good inside there, because now you're up against the actual board. The advantages outweigh the disadvantages of just being mindful of where you push that battery, not to, twist any wires back there when you push the battery in, which if you're flying FPV drones, that's very common thing to do, to look at as well. So it's not really a disadvantage to me. And the advantage of being able to not have any pressure of this battery pushing out, having just a sticking past the end here a little bit, outweigh the few seconds it takes to look in there and make sure everything's good when you put the battery in. All right, so this has been a development for the past 2 months. There have been 3 different people working on various aspects of this project. 2 people on this one getting exactly what we want it to be. I am not fluent in the use of SolidWorks. However, I'm learning how to use it. There are those who are expert at it, and doing back and forth with them took time. They live in another time zone. And through many reiterations, as the box of reiterations that you showed earlier will demonstrate, it was a lot of back and forth to get what I was looking for. This has been designed for the community. That's one of the reasons why I'm not selling the STL files, is because of the R&D that went into this. However, I would, and that is why I'm selling it, the prints, because I want to deliver to you all the highest quality prints, and not just have it up to the whim of a printer or whatever the case is. I want to guarantee my work, that it works, that it fits, and ensures that everything, when you receive it, everything goes together as it should, and it also slips in the drone correctly and it fits correctly. All these details, I want to ensure that when you receive it, you, the customer, that everything is perfect. If there's anything else or questions you wish to address to me, I will be glad to address them in the comments of this video.